Welcome to Treasure Hunt. Treasure Hunt is all about archaeological digs and finds in the Holy Land. Most of the time from the Bible era, Old and New Testament, sometimes a little later. And today we have a find that spans a lot of years. And so it is during Bible times as well as a little bit after also. So what am I talking about? We're going to Rahat in the Negev, which is in the south desert area, the wilderness. When Jesus walked around in the wilderness, he was to be tempted. He was in the Negev. And we're going to share with you the oldest soap factory found. The headlines in the Jerusalem Post read this when people picked up the paper in 2020. Archaeologists and Bedouin community unearth oldest soap factory in Israel. So what's this all about? A soap making factory was not the only treasure found, giving insights to living in the past. Game pieces to very popular games from the time were found too. The Israeli Antiquities Authority in the Bedouin town of Rahat and the Negev turned up the oldest soap factory in Israel. The IAA, the Israel Antiquities Authority, is the governing body of all finds. If you find something or if you're going to go digging, you have to have their okay, and you have to turn whatever you find over to them, which is a great idea. And here on our Bible map, you can see Jerusalem about dead center. And then the entire Negev area is in that yellow, and with that arrow is roughly where our find and our dig is going on. But we're going to give you a little bit closer one right now. Rahat is right there. And look over to the right, far right, you can see the Dead Sea. So you can see we're getting pretty south in the land of Israel. And also to the far left is the Gaza Strip. And you can see with broken lines where the borders come out from the Mediterranean Sea. So that gives you perspective to where this is and what's going on there. And so here's some pictures, but we're going to be reading a lot. And as we have pictures, we share them with you. And just look around. You can see walls, you can see rooms, you can see holes that are dug. That are deeper, and they have reasons. It's oftentimes they're for water, but they're also for other things too that involve liquids. The facility was unearthed inside the house of an affluent family who likely made their wealth through the business of producing and selling olive oil soap. We were shopping in TJ Maxx last Monday. And we noticed on the shelf they had bars of soap. And guess what? It was olive oil soap. So they're still making it. And it sort of looked like that in that this form of color. But this is actually some of the soap they dug up. Archaeologists in the field identified residues that were collected in order to understand more about the production process. And here is the team. Oftentimes the team will appear to have some very young men and women. These oftentimes are students that are spending a summer or a semester working in the field of archaeology. And many of them return after doing one term. They just get so sold on it. To make the soap, the workers used a blend of olive oil and ashes resulting from burning salsala, soda, which is saltwort, plants containing potash, and water. It then was cooked for about a week. So right now, after reaping all of this stuff and putting it together, it's going to take a week of cooking. You're going to see how long it takes to make a bar of soap here in a minute. We're back to where they dug and they found these things. The liquid obtained was afterwards moved to a shallow pool and left hardened for several days until the soap was ready to be cut in bars. which then dried for another 2 months. The outcome was a crucial staple in an area where the heat, sand, and wind made personal hygiene especially demanding. It's very true. We have been in the Negev during the daytime, and the heat is hot. The Dead Sea area is one of the hottest spots on planet Earth. It is the lowest. And the winds and the sand can blow. Now, what about the board games and the game pieces? One of the underground spaces of the wealthy building contained another exciting find, shedding light on the daily life of the inhabitants. A round limestone game board used for a strategy game called the windmill. So when it got too hot or winds blew, a storm, they would stay in. And they would have to have something to do if their work was caught up, and so they would have games to play. And here is the actual game board in pieces. No, I do not know how to play it. This game is known to have existed as early as the 2nd and the 3rd centuries A.D. after Christ, but the Romans were still in power. And it is still being played to this very day, said Svetlana Talas of the Israel Antiquities Authority, in charge of the northern Negev district. To witness the owner's fondness for this pastime, perhaps to while away the time during the long and windy winter nights or the unbearably hot summer days, the researchers found the board of another game known as Hounds and Jackals, or 58 Holes. Well, I can understand the name 58 Holes because here are some of them. And of course, you can see a piece of the game board's broken off. But how that's played, I also don't know. But this is incredible. They found a couple of board games. The game was known to be played already in ancient Egypt and Mesopotamia at least 4,000 years ago. That's Abraham's time. And it apparently involved 2 players throwing dice or sticks in order to advance on the board and reach a specific point. As we close, artifacts connected to the game have been previously uncovered in Israel in the sites of Megiddo and Tel, or Hill, Beth Shan. And so this brings us an update on this dig and what is happening, and as more items are uncovered and updated, we'll be sure to make a video of it and put it up on YouTube. So I want to thank you for joining us on Treasure Hunt. And if we could be of any help to you, feel free to email us. If you have something to share with us, we'd be glad to hear from you also. And so we'll say God bless you and see you on the next Treasure Hunt.